What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. We're back. Day 4 of the World Cup. Some mad shocks today. Let's get straight into it. We start off with Serbia, Costa Rica.
Yeah, it was a decent game. Obviously, Serbia ended up winning 1-0. A lot of people have backed kind of Serbia to kind of impress this World Cup with a few decent players. Mihajlovic from Crystal Palace, Mitrovic up front from Newcastle, and obviously the big star player Milenko Savic from Lazio. And he was probably the man of the match today. Played really, there was some good stuff being played in that game. And Serbia, the better team, deserved to win, I thought.
Yeah, I was quite disappointed with the Costa Ricans because sometimes, usually they come and actually play football. They give teams good games. But I thought they were never really in the game today.
Well, last World Cup, they were kind of the shock team, weren't
Exactly.
they? They topped the group with England, Italy and Uruguay in it. And they got to the quarters, I think, and they gave a real good go of it all last 16. And but this time it kind of seems like they might peter out in the group stage because it didn't seem like they had anything. Joel Campbell really disappointed today. I thought he's usually a player who could be quite exciting and quite burstful, but he didn't really have anything. And Brian Ruiz was very lackluster, I thought.
Yeah.
So it was a shame for them. But Serbia quite impressed,
A great free kick from Kolarov.
Unbelievable free kick from Kolarov. And they could have probably won by a few more goals. Mitrovic missed a one-on-one. Milenko Savic had this unbelievable overhead kick, which forced a good save from the keeper.
Good player, that Savic looks like, doesn't he?
I'd love Spurs to sign.
Yeah.
So he looks like a real player Spurs could do with. But he's going to cost an arm and a leg, unfortunately. So I don't think Levy's going to start handing out the Benjamins just yet. But we'll see.
Why not?
Well, it's going to cost at least 100 million.
100 million?
100 million. That's what they're saying.
All right, that's a no-go then.
Yeah, it's a no-go. But obviously Serbia got some good players as well. Kolarov on left back and Ivanic right back. They played quite well. So maybe if they can get out the group stage, who knows what Serbia can get up to. Probably can't even get past the last 16 just yet. But it's an impressive start, I think.
But they've got, Switzerland and Brazil in their group as well. So it's going to be tough for them because, look at Switzerland done today. So
yeah, we'll get to that later. But anyway, here's a video from Harrison, who's giving his opinion on the game.
So, Serbia won, Costa Rica 0. It was a pretty even game. Both teams had their shots. At the end of the day, it was a finishing that didn't result in a higher scoreline, and it was Kolarov's quality on the free kick that gave Serbia the 3 points. It looks like Costa Rica really need to get a result against Switzerland if they want to get to the round of 16, man.
All right, thanks a lot, Harrison. Let's move on to Germany. Mexico was probably the shock of the day.
Yeah, probably is it the shock of the tournament so far?
Definitely.
Yeah, Mexico beating Germany by a goal to 0 and well worth their win as well. Counter-attacking football at its best, play a defensive line, putting bodies on the line, and they had the firepower up front to really hurt Germany. They could have been even worse.
I said pre-tournament, I think Germany are the team who I think are going to be the biggest flops out of the biggest teams. And as well, historically, you see teams that win the World Cup, they historically don't do well the following World Cup. And I think that's going to be the same for Germany. And I was kind of not proved right, but that's the first game. So
first game, and it looks like that might happen.
But no big teams have really shone
so far. That's definitely true.
So
but they really got. I think they showed a lack of respect to Mexico, in my opinion. I felt like they were putting all their players forward at every opportunity and leaving massive holes in the back. And they thought maybe, it's just Mexico, maybe we can just deal with it, we'll pummel them and go on to win the game. But you know what? Mexico really turned up. Their front three of Vela, Layun and Lozano and Chicharito, their front four even, were absolutely phenomenal. I thought, bursting forward on the counter-attack.
So pacey, weren't they?
Actually, I would say they played well, but actually screwed up quite a few counter-attacks, to be honest. The amount of times they were 3-on-2 and just didn't play the right pass was countless.
Especially towards the end when Germany were throwing the kitchen sink.
Yeah. Really frustrating.
Mexico had a few counters from that and they just couldn't do it.
But they're keeping up the likes of Muller, Timo Werner, who I thought had a really poor game, Mesut Ozil, who just
anonymous, absolutely anonymous,
doing his disappearing act again, and Draxler had a poor game. And they brought on the likes of Royce, they brought on the likes of Mario Gomez, who's okay maybe, but they had some firepower coming off the bench, and they just could have done with Sane. And Brandt as well. Julian Brandt came on, hit the post with a sweet volley. Sane left at home. He must be wondering, what is he doing at home, watching that game? And Mexico, well worth it. Well worth it, I thought. Chicharito showing West Ham why he shouldn't be on the bench there because he was absolutely phenomenal hold-up play, counter-attacking play. Really impressive stuff. And it was lovely to see Rafael Marquez coming on.
Yeah, 39 years old, his last few games of his career.
5th World Cup for him.
Yeah, really nice to see, to be honest.
And coming up at a really important time, 10 minutes ago, against 1-0 against Germany, shows the trust they have in him, even at 39 years old. And I thought he did a good job when he came on, settled things down. And great stuff from Mexico. And I want to see more from them. I want to see more, maybe against a weaker team, maybe see how they, when they dominate the ball, how they do.
I was really impressed with the goalkeeper, the Mexican goalkeeper. Ochoa. I thought he made some world-class saves today and kind of kept them in the game, because I know Mexico should have got those 2 or 3 goals, but if you only score that 1 goal, you're always liable to, let the other team back in the game. But luckily for Mexico, they had that keeper, and he kept them in the game, to be honest.
Ochoa, who was one of the stars of the last World Cup, actually, wasn't he? He was pretty good. Unfortunately, he didn't get I remember he was looking for a big move, he didn't get it. But yeah,
he might get it after this World Cup.
He's showing again what a good keeper he is. And this is also easy to forget. It was a Mexico defence that was hit a lot by injury before the tournament. And, they've come out and they kept the clean sheet against probably one of those feared attacks in the world. In Muller's one of the top goal scorers of all the World Cup. So to keep a clean sheet in this game, to end up 1-0 winners, and to be disappointed it wasn't even more, shows how impressive the win was for Mexico.
Yeah, the Germans are going to have to step it up in the next couple of games. But let's hear from German football expert Jonny Clarke.
Hello, this is Jonny Clarke for WeAreTottenhamTV. I've just finished watching the Germany-Mexico game there. First of all, congratulations to Mexico, massively deserved, especially based on the first hour of the game. And I'm not surprised at all. I think Mexico are a really good team. Obviously with massive dangerous players on the break, Fea, Chicharito and Lozano, just the young boy who obviously scored the goal. From a German point of view though, that was very disappointing and kind of continued on from the friendly performances that they've given. I think the team's too regimented. The first hour they were too structured. There's no players on the ball with flair. Muller's not allowed to play with the sort of freedom that he wants to out on the right hand side either. Werner was anonymous up front, and obviously Khedira was poor holding midfield. I think Germany needs someone to protect the defence properly, whether that's Khedira or Kroos sitting deeper. They need to play Julian Brandt on the left, or Marco Reus, for a bit of flair, a bit of pace, a bit of energy. For me, I like Draxler when he gets into the final third. He does create chances, but he doesn't take on a defender, and he doesn't give that bit of flair that Germany are needing, especially given that Muller is playing so strictly on the right hand side. As I say, it's continued on from the friendlies for Germany. It's really disappointing, and it looks like if Mexico play like that against Sweden and South Korea, they should win the group. So it looks like it'll be Germany against Brazil. Obviously, we're taking a lot at once there, because we might not beat Sweden, and Brazil might not win their group. But if results go as expected, it'll be Germany, Brazil. So at least that's exciting. But there's a lot to improve on for Germany. They need more flair. That's the thing I take from that game.
Alright, nice one, Jonny. And we've also got another video from these very, very happy Mexican fans we bumped into.
Hey, Viva Mexico!
How do you think the game went today? It was an amazing performance from the Mexicans.
It was so good! Finally, Mexico, Germany, 0.
We won! Finally!
¡Pelo la verga! ¡Viva Mexico, la verga!
How far do you think you can go in a tournament?
Semi-finals for now,
Yeah.
semi-finals, but we'll see.
Yeah.
How far we get?
You've done better than the English have ever done, beating the Germans, so well done, guys.
Yeah, final. Thank you.
Alright, nice one. Let's move on to Brazil versus Switzerland, which was another shock today.
And yeah, another shock, another pre-tournament favourite really failing to turn up. And it finished Brazil 1, Switzerland 1.
Well, failing to turn up is a bit of...
Well, struggling, you would say.
I thought they were alright today, Brazil. I thought they could have had a lot more goals than they got. I thought they were much better than Switzerland, to be honest.
Yeah, they were better than Switzerland.
I don't think you can say they didn't turn up. I think
you could say that they weren't. It wasn't. I think the game ended 1-1. I mean, would you say that the Switzerland keeper wasn't making save after save? I think defence did pretty well. They were making a lot of vital blocks, but I don't think you would say that Brazil made that many clear-cut chances.
I think they had enough chances to win the game, though.
Possibly. Possibly, but the only goal they scored was a 25-yarder. What a goal that was from Coutinho. See, how many times have we seen that from him?
That is Coutinho.
It's his trademark.
That is Coutinho.
Left side of the penalty box, whipping into the far corner. That's literally Coutinho all over the place. Don't let him ever have time and space on that side of the pitch.
That's Philip Coutinho in a nutshell, isn't it? That goal epitomises him, doesn't it?
Literally. But Neymar, Neymar was fouled 10 times.
Yeah, it looked like he was getting kicked around the park today.
Yeah, no one has been fouled more than Neymar since Tunisia fouled Alan Shearer 11 times in 1998. So that tells you all you need to know about what Switzerland's tactics were against Neymar. Knowing that he coming out from injury, knowing that he could be struggling. But I think Willian kind of disappointed a bit. I wasn't too impressed with him today. What did you think of Gabriel Jesus today? Gabriel Jesus, I think he played quite well. Obviously it's his first World Cup, first international tournament. He's a young player. It'd be easy to forget that because of how well he's played for Man City. But he had a few moments of real quality, but he didn't really do enough. He didn't really test the keeper. I can't remember any shots he had really. He had that one penalty shout in the second half that could have gone either way. The referee ended up not giving it. But I think, maybe further on the tournament we'll see better from him, but we didn't see the best from him today.
At the end of the day, this was their hardest game in the group.
Yeah.
So a draw is actually not such a bad result.
Not the end of the world.
They're going to go out. They're probably going to beat Serbia and Costa Rica, and they'll finish top of the group.
He said they'll probably beat Switzerland. You never know. But you've got to say, Switzerland, from their point of view, that if they were a better side, there's probably more in it for them today because the amount of counterattacks again. It's a theme of this World Cup. Failed counterattacks is a real theme of this World Cup.
Shaqiri didn't do enough for me today.
Really, he was frustrating on the counterattack. He was wasteful. They got a goal from a corner, obviously. Was it a push? Do you think it was a push on Miranda?
I don't know.
The Brazil players were incensed, I thought.
Yeah, they thought it was a definite.
I thought it was a bit of a push, but on the flip side, it was a bit weak from Miranda at the same time.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a full on push. It was like a slight nudge.
He was going for it, wasn't he?
I think the play, if it was ruled out, I don't think the player could really complain. But I think, at the same token, Miranda was a bit weak. Yeah. It wasn't a full on push; it was like a little nudge.
Yeah.
So you can't really complain too much about the goal. And then Slaven Bilic said, "You know what? I don't really care." Switzerland got the draw, so that's all. That's the best thing about it. Anyway, we've got a video from Rants and Bants talking about the Brazil-Switzerland game. Here's his thoughts.
Brazil won, Switzerland won. It was a weird game, to be fair. I think tactically Brazil got it wrong. Started Jesus up top when really they needed a pivot. They had Firmino on the bench. He probably should have started, man. With Neymar, Willian and Coutinho behind, you really needed the ball to stick up there. It didn't. I think they made the change too late. Great goal from Coutinho. Come on, he does it all the time, man. He's mastered that whip into the back post. Neymar was disappointing, to be fair. I think he was trying a bit too hard and it didn't come off. Willian was anonymous. I think he was terrible. I would drop him for Douglas Costa in the next game, man. But saying that, I think Brazil looks strong, man. I think they look strong. To think that they've got Fred to come in the team as well in the midfield, Douglas Costa to come in, Firmino to come in. It wasn't a great result, but Switzerland did well. They stayed compact, got the goal from a set piece, and overall, yeah, it was an exciting game.
All right, nice one, Rants. And that wraps up the daily World Cup. And we're going to do a little addition for you. As we've got the England game tomorrow, we're going to do a little preview for the England game.
Yeah, so in terms of lineup, what I'm expecting is he's going to go through at the back.
Yeah, you're thinking Pickford in goal?
I'm thinking Pickford in goal as he's done for most of the friendlies. I'm thinking he's going to play Kyle Walker right centre-back. I think he's also going to play Stones and Cahill.
Yeah.
That's my feeling, with Trippier and Danny Rose.
Would you play Cahill if it was yours?
Yes, because I think he has the most experience, and I think also it was only last season he won a title in back three, so he knows how to defend, he knows how to be in that position, and I think he's going to have Walker covering for him if any lapses there in terms of pace-wise. So I think it should be all right with Cahill.
You say Cahill on the left or Cahill in the centre?
I think you want Stones in the centre. I think Cahill on the left. That's what I'd go for, and then I think he'll go Rose and Trippier on the wings.
Is Henderson going to start?
I think he's going to go Dyer actually. I think it's going to be Dyer and Ali in the centre with Sterling behind Kane and maybe Sterling
Kane
and Lingard.
Rashford.
Or maybe sorry. I think we'll go Lingard with Sterling and Kane up front. That's why.
So no Rashford.
No, I don't think Rashford and Vardy will both be on the bench. That's my feeling. Obviously, you can change it up. But that's what I think he was going to go for.
So we just heard some mad statements on TalkSport, didn't we? What was that all about?
Well, I can't remember who was on TalkSport. Jason kind of was talking to someone who said, in his opinion, if he was manager of England, he would not start Kane tomorrow. He would start Vardy ahead of Kane because in direct quote, international tournaments, you need something extra special.
Yeah.
Apparently that's Vardy.
Yeah, apparently Vardy has that something extra special over Kane.
Yeah. Less
Yeah,
goals.
he
That's
can
what
do
it is.
one, mate.
Unbelievable.
Go do
but
one.
you know, given that all the big sides, all the pre-tournament favourites, I kind of faltered a bit at the start of this World Cup. It kind of takes the pressure off England a bit. I feel. Obviously, if we don't win tomorrow, it's going to be meltdown. Everyone's going to go. You know, Twitter's going to be an uproar, and it's going to like break the internet. But I think we could go out with a bit of freedom tomorrow. Given
I think they have to go out with that freedom tomorrow. They have to. I think if we go out there with the freedom and we enjoy our football, there's no way we won't win that game.
But I think it just takes the pressure off a bit, seeing everyone else fall to maybe let everything say, okay, we can kind of play with a bit more freedom, go attacking, you know. And Tunisia, there's not really too many players in that squad where you got to feel worried about in terms of attacking wise. We've got a defence.
Do you know any players in their squad?
No.
Yeah, well there you go.
But we've got a defence there which should be able to cover. We should be able to be pushing a lot of men forward, and even if we push a lot of men forward, we can also have Dyer in that centre mid who can drop in a centre back if need be. So we shouldn't be too much of a problem in terms of getting men forward.
The Tunisia manager said that you've got to do your utmost to stop Dele Alli, and then you can stop England. What do you make out of that?
That's an interesting. Well, you'd probably say Ali's our most creative player. So it's a fair statement to make. I wouldn't say, from a Spurs point of view, seeing Ali, I wouldn't say he's the player that creates that many chances per game, but he's more of a player that relies on moments in a football match, and he'll just come late in a box, or he'll create a chance out of nothing.
The enigma that is Dele Alli.
He'll nutmeg someone and go through on goal, something like that. So if you can stop those kind of moments, you may go somewhere to stop England, but I think the main player, if Tunisia are going to stop England, it's Sterling, in my opinion. Sterling's the player.
How many Dele Alli nutmegs are we going to see in this World Cup?
I reckon 2 tomorrow. That's why I'm going for
Only just for tomorrow.
Just tomorrow, we're going to go 2 for Dele Alli. He's a man on a mission. I think he wants to prove the doubters wrong. He knows that he's had not the best season, up to his standards, and that this is the world stage. This is where he can really strike his stuff. And Dele's not one to shy away from attention. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see a couple of numbers tomorrow. But Kane is a big one as well in terms of, he said, Ronaldo scoring a hat-trick to put pressure on him. Yeah. So it's like, okay, this guy's really going for the golden boot, isn't he? He's looking at Ronaldo, like, all right, he's putting pressure on me. He's looking at Ronaldo and saying that. That shows where Kane's head is at and where he's going to be banging the goals, I'm hoping.
So you're backing Kane hat-trick tomorrow?
Hey, Kane hat-trick tomorrow and then 4 against Panama. He's going to top goal scorer of the World Cup. As you heard it here first.
All right, so that was your World Cup Daily. We are Tottenham TV. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, and as always, come on England!